Obesity is something which affects many individuals worldwide. Obesity is a condition which a person has where they have excess fat cells to the point where it affects their overall health. Around the world now, there are an estimated 300 million adults who suffer from obesity. There are many different factors which contribute to obesity, which range from poor eating habits, eating too fast, lifestyle choices, cultural norms, to snacking or eating times. While cultural diversity has many important aspects, which bring life, education, and happiness into this world, it is also the underlying cause of the overwhelming statistics which show levels of obesity and an increase in areas populated by minority groups. Another reason individuals may develop obesity is genetic predisposition, where they are born into a family where many members struggle with obesity and present with the behaviors which can increase chances of developing obesity. Obesity raises concerns outside of just the way people look, including issues with self-esteem and self-perception, as well as financial struggles related to treating related health issues with obesity. Obesity is a global problem in that it affects people in all countries and areas. Obesity is developed as a result of certain behaviors and behavior patterns. These patterns are often internalized by children at a very young age, and they can simply be due to food-related behaviors driven by their culture and background, or they can stem from genetic predisposition and overall lifestyle choices. Researching this problem and trying to come up with a solution to it is important because the numbers have been rising steadily over the years, and if something is not done to stop this global problem, it will be even more difficult to spread the education and awareness needed to change things. There are two ways to begin to try and eliminate unhealthy trends which can be related to specific cultures, lifestyle patterns, learned behaviors, or simple geographical location and the effects of the systems in place in those locations. Intervention, which can behave as the first attempt to rid a society of a risky trend, in this case obesity, can have its positive side, but in practice this strategy seems to be unhelpful in the long run and for the bigger picture. The better, more effective way to target an issue like obesity falls under the category of prevention, which is very different than intervention. Prevention works to educate and set up systems before a child can develop the habits related to obesity. In order to stop the progression of obesity in children and avoiding adults with obesity, minority families need education related to lifestyle choices, food and eating perceptions, as well as feelings of acceptance among their white counterparts. There are multiple reasons why people of color do not seek outdoor activities in the same way that their white counterparts do. Interestingly enough, these reasons do not point to socioeconomic reasons alone. Rather, social implications of being in a minority group. One reason people of color tend to stay inside is due to violence to people of color. If there's a family who fears for their safety, knowing that they will be targeted, it's easy to understand why they might choose to stay home and watch TV instead. In order to alleviate this divide between people who feel comfortable in outdoor activities and people who do not, is to begin the conversation with people who feel comfortable. If there's a sense of safeness and joy in an outdoor activity, and there are people who will avoid these outdoor programs due to discomfort, what needs to change within the people who do not feel comfortable being there? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. And the answer is that whether or not anyone is consciously working to alienate anyone, if someone is feeling alienated, then it's up to the ones who have the upper hand to check themselves and make sure they are doing everything they can to include all communities in their programs. The education and the prevention has to be not with people who alienated necessarily, but with those who have the ability to make these things better for those who feel alienated. Finally, prevention holds priority over intervention here, and the key is to getting to these individuals early enough that they can learn things the right way the first time, and not to need to fix a behavior or a habit later on in life when it will likely be too late. Educational programs where adults are taught to make and promote good food and lifestyle choices should be steadily available to adults in areas where obesity is already an issue. More than this, the education should be available to all the individuals becoming parents or teachers. We don't need to wait until individuals are suffering from what could end up being a lifestyle health issue to prevent their bad habits from forming. We need to make sure there are resources available, educational programs lined up, and real preventative systems in place.